everyone, welcome to SLP's Wine and Cheese. I'm Deb.
And I'm Maria.
And here's our podcast.
For the realistic SLP. Welcome!
Oh, look, we did that together.
We're awesome. Cheers!
Cheers to that.
That's right. Like our life speech, and we're okay with that.
Trying to help people to, improve their speech language communication.
Understanding, language comprehension, expressive output. All right, so let's talk about the wine.
Okay.
And it's from Sicily. It's very fancy.
I say drink it, not sink it.
Definitely drink it. All right, what do you think about it paired with the Prosecco, though? Let's get back on task.
I think it's pretty good.
Because neurons that fire together, wire together.
I like that. Work smarter, not harder.
Right, yes.
You're teaching them, and the first step is just how to communicate.
And then also you're teaching them like syntactically correct sentences.
Right.
The more you understand yourself, the more you're able to understand other people.
That's really genius. We
Yeah.
need to cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're back. I'm Deb and Maria's sick, but I'd like to welcome our guest, Kristie. Kristie, say hi.
Hi.
So Kristie Knickerbocker is a SLP in Texas, specializing in voice and voice disorders. She is a singing voice specialist and LSVT certified. Kristie is the owner of A-Tempo Voice Center and Voice Diagnostics. She creates downloadable online materials to help SLPs have better access to information regarding evidence-based voice therapy. She enjoys posting to Instagram about all things about music and voice science. Welcome, Kristie.
Yay, I'm happy to be here, Deb. Thanks so much for having me.
So we were talking about Instagram stalking earlier. Like, I totally stalk your Instagram because I wish I was you. Like, I try to do all the singing because, like, I was always, like, choir and karaoke. Those were my favorite things. But, like, I'm not trained or professional like you.
I think that it doesn't matter if you enjoy it. I mean, you guys did a podcast not too long ago where y'all were singing everything. And, you were singing Christmas carols today in your Insta story, so.
I know. Everyone kept messaging me like, are you in a Catholic school? And I'm like, no, you narc. Go away. Okay, so I've already started drinking my Chardonnay, which is a white wine, and I decided to pair it with mozzarella because I had a holiday party. It was like a pasta party, and we have lots of cheese left over. So
that's good. I'm drinking. I've got coconut water.
Oh,
so
good.
That's really good. And so our accountant sent this. This is months ago too, so it's been sitting in the fridge. This box of apples and cheese, like I guess as a thanks for your business kind of gift. But I opened the Gouda because I love Gouda, but it's this round thing. I've been waiting for an excuse to open it. And then this I'm using this walnut fiddlebow knife.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever used it.
Take a picture of this.
I think so because it is very intense.
Yeah, I'm like gonna take a picture of the computer, except that'll probably be like out of context. Like, why do you have this knife? But that's so funny. Okay, apples and cheese and coconut water. Those are better vocal choices, I bet, than what I have chosen. And that probably lends itself.
It's funny because with alcohol, there are different drying. I mean, liquor is the most drying. Beer's the least drying. There's actually a study somewhere about how if you're dehydrated, beer and water will hydrate you. It was a study I read somewhere. So anyway, wine's kind of the middle of the road. So, just you're not having too much.
If I'm doing a night of karaoke, I always drink beer because I need the courage, but then also I feel like I sing better than if I had something else.
See, I'm the exact opposite. If I drink, I can't sing.
I'm sure I can't either.
It's terrible. And my husband didn't believe me. We'd gone to some karaoke thing one night, and he was like, oh, whatever. He's like, get up there and do your song. And I got down, and he was like, I don't want you to ever do that again.
Listen, all performers have to bomb. You can't nail everything, otherwise you won't be good.
No, you can't be afraid of failure. Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah. So, getting to know you, we have a this or that game that Maria created for us, even though she can't be here. She always makes sure that she can be a participant. So, she's good at being involved. So, this or that, I'm going to read to you. I mean, I'm sure you know how this game goes. I read you 2 options, and then you pick which one you prefer.
Okay.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
High heels or sneakers?
High heels.
Taco or hamburger?
Taco.
Bearded men or clean shaven?
Ooh, clean shaven. Oh, any day.
Oh, you wouldn't fare well in Brooklyn.
I can't do the beard. And everybody with No Shave November going on right now, I'm like, you guys can.
Right.
I'll get you those razors.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into the facial hair so much myself. NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
Ooh. NSYNC. I've seen the Backstreet Boys live, but I like NSYNC better.
I love NSYNC more. Rock or hip hop?
Rock.
Seinfeld or Friends?
Ooh. Seinfeld. That dates me though. I don't know. We've seriously, I watched it last night. We've been watching reruns at night because we don't have Netflix in the bedroom. Seinfeld it is. That's funny.
I like Seinfeld more too. The older I get, the less I like Friends.
Yeah, I think it's a time period thing.
Yeah.
Seinfeld didn't used to be funny to me. I used to complain. My parents were like, just go to bed. And I was like, but I want to stay up.
Right.
You guys. But now.
It's also funny. Very like culturally ignorant. Like when you watch Friends now, it's like embarrassing for white people.
Yes. Yes. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Thin crust pizza or deep dish?
Deep dish.
Oh, I like thin crust. Dogs or cats? Yeah.
Oh,
I like the crunchier the better. Dogs.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like if I might as well be a cracker with cheese on it.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Yeah. Ebook or regular book?
Regular book. I like to hold the book. I don't know.
Me too.
I have a Kindle, but I don't know.
Me too. And I've never turned it on. I didn't buy it. It was given to me by somebody else who probably didn't use it either.
Free gift.
Yeah. Running late or always on time?
Always early.
Oh, wow.
I used to have a choir director, and he would say, if you are on time, you're late.
Right.
And if you're early, you're on time. So.
Yeah. And then I had people tell me that too. And I'm like, but what we both can agree on is that I'm here.
Yes.
And I made it.
That is a good response.
So now who's holding us up? Early morn or midnight owl?
Midnight owl.
Me too. Camping or hotel?
Hotel.
Me too. I can't. No.
Boo.
Ski or snowboard?
You know, I've never done either. Isn't that sad? I've never been never been doing anything on snow, but I can wakeboard, so I think probably snowboard.
Yeah, I mean, you do live in Texas, so I don't know about this winter sports.
I would have had to go to Colorado or somewhere where there's snow.
God, Maria, you could have done your research. Poop emoji or blowing kiss emoji?
Blowing kiss emoji.
Yeah.
Although it's kind of awkward to use. Like, it's like that with the heart lip. I'm like, do I know you enough, or do you think I'm weird because I'm giving you the blow kiss emoji?
Right. Yeah, I don't give it all that often, but I do receive it, and I'm like, that's intense.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to think about. I'm like, I don't know. I always think twice. Then I usually go with winky.
Yeah. Yeah. I usually go with head upside down emoji. Because that's how I feel. FaceTime or text?
FaceTime.
Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Oh yeah. I'm so bored of Facebook.
Oh, done with it. Nice
car or nice home interior?
Nice car.
Yeah.
I think about it though.
I think nice house, because I live in New York.
Like you don't need it. You don't have a car. Like in Texas, you can drive for 9 hours and still be in Texas.
Right.
You're still in the state, though.
So you're like, I actually do have a car. I drive everywhere, but I wouldn't want a nice one because it it's a hard city whenever I see people with expensive cars, I'm like, you must have a driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have to.
Yeah. The last one is toilet paper, over or under?
Oh, over. Okay, there's some like spider meme somewhere where the spider's like, haha, this is why you don't have your toilet paper facing this way. Over.
And that
What about you? Are you over or are you under?
I don't even think I've ever looked. I don't know. I mean,
now you're gonna look.
To me, it's like toilet paper there or not there. I just prefer it be there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
If it's not there, you're in a world of hurt.
Or I'm like screaming. I'm like, Mike, please bring me toilet paper. And then he's like playing a video game, not even sensing the urgency in my voice.
Yeah.
That would be my life.
Sit there for a while. That's so funny.
So I've met so many people who wish to take your route in speech pathology. And because like I said, when I was in middle school and high school, I was in choir and stuff. So lots of people that I know, they kind of envision their future as a singer. And then they went back to school and ended up choosing speech pathology.
Yep.
And for them, I haven't really had much feedback to give them because I don't even know. It's hard to figure out how to get anywhere above your first spot in speech pathology. So, so how'd you get here? We'll call this segment Started from the Bottom, Now I'm Here.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, I don't know where here is. I'm always surprised.
Sounds very good.
Yeah. So I started off wanting to do vocal performance because I have always been good at singing. I enjoy music. I can play things by ear. And so I got a scholarship to TCU, Texas Christian University, for vocal performance. And my senior year of high school, I was getting audition tapes in, got that all done. And then in Texas, there's a singing competition where you do things in the spring where you do solo pieces and an ensemble. And so I had prepared a solo piece, but as I was rehearsing it, there was something going on with my voice. And of course I was worried, and I was like, oh no, it'll get better. And I figured that I could sing by pushing on my throat, and I could stay on the notes. Like I pushed it to one side. Oh. And so I performed that way for this contest. And the judge is like, so what are you doing with your throat there, little girl? I said, well, I can't sing right.
Wait, how old were you?
With it. I was like 17. I was 18 already, I think. And I said, something, and she was like, you need to go see an ear, nose, throat doctor. And so of course I was afraid of that, but it took her saying that to me. So voice teachers out there, don't be afraid to tell your students to go see a doctor, because I listened to that lady. I didn't know who she was, but that was enough to make me go. So anyway, I had a cyst on my vocal fold, the left one, and basically I was looking at either no singing or I could have surgery. So I had surgery, very scared, worried about my speech pathologist knowing anything about music. Should have turned out to be very nice, very knowledgeable. I was very impressed, and surgery went well. I was able to sing again, minimal stiffness in the tissue, but it was probably about 2 years before I really felt joy in singing again. So,
oh, wow.
It's interesting for the recovery thing, but
did you feel like you changed musically in that 2 years? Like, did you start off one way and end up like bluesy?
It was more like painful to sing, like inside. Like it was, I was frustrated, and I was kind of in denial and mad at my teacher, because at one point she had said, you probably should think about switching majors. And I said,
oh no. Yeah.
But that was really the best thing she could have done, is to tell me that. So I racked my brain. I was like, what? And then I thought, that was my worry with my SLP. So why don't I do that for others? So I did.
And you also are sure to incorporate voice and singing into your therapy. So it's like you never really let go of it.
You're right. And I think I enjoy it more now that I don't have to worry about it for an income.
Right. And feel like that's what I wanted to say to you too, because my boyfriend is a stand-up comedian, and I know tons of stand-up comedians, and it's so hard because like you see people who like they skyrocket to the top really quick, and then you see other people who are talented and they just like really can't catch a break, and then they put all this like financial stress on comedy, which like impacts their ability to write and perform, and then they start to hate it, and then like they get another job which takes away from the creative writing aspect.
They can't be creative. Yeah
So it's like great that you get to find joy in this and help others, and still like you don't lose that ability to sing, because I know like all those comedians I know, no matter what, if they didn't get to do comedy, they probably wouldn't truly be happy.
Yeah.
So like it, like you get to keep that. So it's kind of like a great, to me seems like a great.
Oh, you're completely right. And then the joy that you get from helping someone who was scared, just like, you were, and then they do what you say, they do probably even more, and then they get better, and you were a part of that. They did all the hard work though. That's what I got to remind them. They're like, you did this. I'm like, no, you did this. You just listened to me and I just knew what to tell you. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, anyway. I can't wait to hear about all of that. So then, first, how did you end up? So where did you do your CF?
I did my CF and an LTAC. So I got, I learned a lot. It was the only hospital job I could get, and because I couldn't travel, I couldn't search for a voice clinical fellowship because I couldn't travel. So the choices were slim in town, but I continued to plug away at continuing education for voice, and I will travel for courses. So I had a good mentor, a couple good mentors as well, which really made all the difference. We were talking earlier about, what do you do? But I did my CF there,
as an SLP.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I'm so strong about doing what I'm doing now, because it's such a obscure area that we treat. And so if you don't feel comfortable, you shy away from it. And then if you have a patient, you're like, oh man, what do I do at all? Because you avoid what's hard. So.
And you were also talking earlier, you're like, oh, you're so active on Instagram. And I am. And I know that it's like, somebody else told me I was like the most generous person on Instagram. So I'm like, wow, everyone's like, Deb posts way too much. But like, I hear that, but I'm like, oh, I don't know why. I just always want to show everyone like, look at this. They're all doing such great stuff. Also, I know that lots of the parents of the kids that I work with, they follow the Instagram. So I know they like look out
for
their kid's voice and stuff. So I know they like it. Yeah. And then also like it helps me, like I don't have to take as much data during my sessions because most of them are all recorded. So
yeah,
I can just take data after. But so I work with so many, like I've been a CF supervisor for 3 years, and because of my Instagram, I get so many people messaging me, and I feel like I'm in like the most basic sector of speech pathology while I'm in the school setting, because I'm also in gen ed. So it's like there's people coming to me being like, oh, well, that's just too difficult, so I just don't even work on it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, or they're too afraid. So you specifically come from an area that is very like daunting to lots of novice SLPs. So do you think like those SLPs should just refer, or educate and treat?
It really depends on the situation. Like it's because it's so obscure. If you're locked in the way that you are rural, you have no way to refer your patients driving 4 hours. Like,
right.
I think that if you need a specialty exam, it's worth it to have the patient go, because there's no reason for you to treat a patient with voice therapy who you have no idea what's going on in their larynx.
Right.
So I think if you're locked as far as that, get the patient consult with the patient and explain why it's so important to get a video stroboscopy, or at the very least an endoscopy, to see what's going on, so you're not missing something or causing harm. But there's a lot of good there's free CEUs on University of Madison, Wisconsin. MedBridge has really stepped up their game.
Yeah, I just took a CEU course on voice from MedBridge before.
They've got Schneider's on there, E. Hapner's on there, Joe Stimple's on there. There's a bunch more too. So I think that there's a lot more availability to that without having to wait for a course to come around. Kitty Berlini Abbott does courses every once in a while for resident voice therapy, but there's more availability of it now, and that's really what I wanted to try and do online, was give people, knowing I care about the evidence, and so my job is to figure out what's new with that and then provide it for people who may not do it all the time. So it shouldn't be scary.
Right.
But I think there's two answers to that question, and that the exam, you really kind of can't go without that. You just couldn't. I couldn't never say that you could do it. But, our code of ethics says whatever we feel competent in treating. And so, make yourself competent. You get a patient like that, get online and then reach out. We've got Facebook groups. We've got all kinds of things that you can try and get a mentor for online.
Right. I agree with that too. I really hate to hear somebody say like they're just choosing not to work with something because they're afraid or it's too difficult. Like definitely every time I do something new or I work with a different client, I always just go online and take a couple CEU courses. This way I'm like always up to date in terms of my licensure, but then also so that I feel more confident. That's probably why I feel so relaxed whenever I go into the session, because I'm just listening to these CEU things all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just always like on the surface a little.
And the thing with voice therapy too is it's so, you kind of have to watch it be done. So when you can have a video example to watch, that's excellent. And ultimately you'd want to go and watch a couple sessions at a place that's near you. But I mean, I completely understand if you can't do that. I think it would also depend on the severity of the issue. So you have a performer who is relying on their voice for income. Mm-hmm. You have never treated voice before, probably need to refer that patient on. Right. You have guy who has vocal fold bowing and he needs some resonant voice therapy, some vocal function exercises because he wants to be able to sing with his grandkids again. Very different case.
Hey everyone, it's Deb. I hope you're enjoying this episode so far with Kristie. I learned so much, and by the end of this episode, I felt like my life, in my personal life and my therapy life, was completely changed. I had all these new ideas. Maria unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, but luckily we have a bunch of her interviews from the 2018 ASHA convention in Boston. So here's our first interview that we're going to feature with Jennifer. Enjoy.
Here we are with another lovely listener. So tell us about yourself. This is Jennifer, from Advanced Travel Therapy from Florida. Tell us about yourself.
Well, actually, it says Florida, but I'm actually from Colorado.
Oh, okay.
But the company is based in Florida, so that's why that's there. But yeah, I am an SLP and have been for 16 years, which I can't beleave that because I feel like I just got out of school, but went fast.
Yes.
So, yeah, done a little bit of everything.
Wow, 16 years.
16 years.
Wow. I've been doing it for 6 years, and I'm like, the years just blend together after a while.
It's true.
Is that how you feel?
I swear, I can't even believe, I cannot believe how, now some jobs have gone slower, I will say.
Okay.
There's been periods of time that have gone slower, but for the most part, it's been a blink of an eye.
Wow. Yes, so. I agree with that.
Yeah.
You look back and you're like, whoa, 16, that seems like a large number.
I know.
But when you think about it, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So how many times have you been to ASHA?
You know what? I've taken a big break. Honestly, I've probably been 5 times in that time.
That's good.
Know. I feel like I'm not representing well our profession, but yeah.
No, you are. So. You're here right now.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You're on our podcast.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And you were saying how much you love podcasts.
I love podcasts.
Yes.
Love them.
So you just like to drive around. Where do you listen?
I listen in the car. I listen when I'm folding laundry. I listen when I'm running. It's funny now, I don't even exercise to music anymore. I exercise to podcasts.
You know, a few people have been saying that they work out with the podcast, and even myself, I didn't do that. I would listen to music.
Yeah.
And then I started listening to podcasts, not only just on mine, SLP's Wine and Cheese, but other ones. I'm like, it's actually not so bad.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this now and you're not working out, give it a try.
Try it. It makes it, you know what? It honestly makes the time go faster.
That's what it is.
You get wrapped up in the story, and it's like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah, here I did. I did 3 miles.
Yeah.
So you're an avid runner?
I do. I love to run.
Yeah. Well, you look very much in shape.
Oh,
so
well, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's my mental health.
Yes.
So even though I don't want to do it, I never regret doing it. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. You never regret a workout.
Never.
Do you mostly just run, or do you do other activities or the other workouts?
I do everything possible outside. So hike, ski.
Yeah.
Run.
Well, Colorado has a lot of great ski spots.
You have to. Yeah.
I want to go next year to Colorado.
You have to.
What mountain do you recommend I go to, or ski resort?
Do you snowboard?
I ski.
Okay, what's your level? Like, are you an
I want to
intermediate?
say advanced or intermediate to advanced.
Okay.
You know, but I don't want to do any like helicopter drops or something crazy. Those scare me.
Do you like bumps?
I do.
Okay.
I'm getting older now. I'm 30. We talk about this on the podcast. And as you get older, you get more scared of that, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't heal as fast. Honestly, I'm there with you. It's made me. I'm very hesitant now.
Yes.
To take risks on, and I'm older than 30, so
okay.
I would say a good one is Winter Park, because you kind of get a mix of, there's a whole side that's just bumps,
and
then there's a side that's not, so it's a nice, and one of my favorites though is Copper Mountain.
Copper Mountain. Okay.
Because it's broken up so nicely, like where you start on one, like the west side beginner, then it moves to intermediate and advanced, so you can't really get into a situation that you didn't plan to.
Right. So it's like organized by. That's like pretty genius.
Yes, it's amazing. Mother Nature did.
Oh my. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's cool.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So how long have you been living in Colorado?
I have been there since 2005.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I tried.
How many years is that? I'm not a math person, so over 10. Over 10, yeah. 15, 16, 13.
14.
Okay. 14,
yeah.
yes, because we're going on to
in Chicago for a few years, but wind chill.
Right.
I thought it was this mythical, like, how bad can it be? It's like, oh my God.
Yes, that's how bad it can be. Yeah.
Terrible. So, cool city, but I couldn't do the winters, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely have to check out Colorado, though.
You do.
I do. You know, we have to connect, because if I'm in Colorado, I have to, like, call you.
I would welcome it.
Yes. Oh my God, you are so Jennifer. I mean, like, can you be more awesome? Like, I just can't understand it. Like, she goes to ASHA 5 years. I've been working for 5-6 years. It's my first one, so my ratio is not too good.
But it's close to home.
Yeah,
It's hard.
That's true. I know it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you come to ASHA a lot. You've been working as SP for over 10 years. You're in shape. You love the outdoors. You're married. I see a wedding ring. Do you have kids too?
I do.
Okay, I can't. Yeah. Can you just stop being Wonder Woman?
Well, listen,
You're my goals. Jennifer's hashtag goals. We had a whole episode about goals.
Look there's a part of me that would go back to the 30 free as a bird. So we're
okay.
Trust me, it's the grass can be greener, you know.
No, of course. No, I mean, I'm very happy where I am. I don't want to come like I'm not. I do feel like I am a free bird and free spirit. But you seem like you are too. But you have more of your stuff together, which is good. I'll get there. I know I will.
Sometimes. Depends on who you ask.
You're so great. So any advice to any of our listeners?
Is it mainly like new SLPs or
anyone you want to give your advice to? Because you're like amazing. So
you know, I would just say that don't be afraid to try something that initially you would think like, I don't think I like that. I would never do that, because some of the things that I have ended up liking the most, and really, and just in every aspect, professionally,
men.
personally.
I always go to men, like, because I shut down people. I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to them. They're whatever.
No, it's
They
true.
have a red hat on.
You know what? I always say, like, just have a few things and anything that are deal breakers, but leave everything else open. Work.
I love you.
personal, because I mean, you just sometimes you'll mark something off the list that really could have been amazing,
a life changer.
Yes, and so I'd say that that's my big piece of advice.
So have you learned that like the easy way or like the hard way too?
Both.
Yeah.
I've learned both. I mean, I think in the earlier, in my life, it was more, I definitely did things more the hard way.
Okay.
And, but now I've learned over time that no, just you give things a chance, and sometimes it's like, like the kids I work with for feeding therapy, I'm like, that say, I will never eat. Like, I say, this could be your favorite food. You don't know.
Yes.
Because you haven't tried it. This could be your favorite.
And sometimes you have that success that, oh my gosh.
I love it. But
we need to have you on for a feeding episode. Oh my gosh. So we need to exchange. So can you give us like some feeding tips? Like,
oh gosh.
We have a tips and tricks section on our podcast. So here's a tips and trick for feeding.
Let me think. So
there's so many, right?
Because I work with little guys.
Right.
So I think, for any kids, I would say this is one of my biggest ones, is just, if you're stressed, if you have tension, if you feel like your shoulders up to your ears when you're trying to get them to eat, they feel that and feed off of it.
I hear it.
Pardon the pun.
No pun intended. High five right there. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're relaxed and make it fun, and like, hey, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
It's just
oftentimes they respond well to that because they're not feeling that stress. Kids pick up on that.
They do.
So
absolutely.
Keep it cool. Keep it fun. Keep it light.
That's what therapy has to be, right?
Yep.
It has to be therapeutic.
Yeah.
How are you going to expect them to be calm and stressed, calm down and do what you want if you're yourself? You have to model that appropriate behavior.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you want to have a power struggle with a child? Good luck. So if you're like, that's great. Do it if you want.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to try it.
Right.
This is great.
Yeah.
Oftentimes they do well with that.
They feed into it.
They feed into it.
We're going to just keep punning on the word feed. That's some food for thought.
You are
with Jennifer. Jennifer, thank you so much. You are just a plethora of knowledge.
Oh,
thank you.
All
right. Bye.
Bye.
What a fun interview. Okay, guys, we're at our halfway point. So we checked in with Maria at ASHA. That was such a great time. Thanks for every person that came over to our booth to say hey. We're going to continue the episode now. Kristie and I are going to take care of some housekeeping, and then we get to some tips and tricks that you can use tomorrow in your therapy. So stay tuned. If you enjoy the show, please like and review our show. You can find me on Instagram. My handle is at Deborah Brooks, CCCSLP, or you can follow the podcast on Instagram, which is SLP's Wine and Cheese Pod _ between each word. And Kristie, would you have anything you would like to plug? Oh, sorry, you just started chewing. Thanks to everyone who bought our t-shirts at ASHA. You're helping fund our podcast and make this happen weekly. So we really appreciate your support. And now Kristie's done chewing.
Yay. Oh yeah. So on my website, www.atempovoicecenter.com, that's ATEMPO Voice Center. I have a bevy of resources. You click on all products and you can search anything from kid voice therapy materials for resident voice therapy, for flow phonation, for straw phonation, to adult resources, vocal health handouts. I've got videos on there of demonstrations of voice therapy techniques and the research behind that. And then every product comes with the research articles that you can further your knowledge by reading, attached in that as well. I am really active on Instagram. It's Kristie_voice, and the Insta stories, and then my main page too. I've got a YouTube channel where I do a lot of before and after video and audio examples for patients. And yeah, I own both companies incorporated for that, and I am pretty approachable. So if you have questions, like, you can always DM me those if you have questions.
Well, that's super generous. I know I am going to, I already actually bought one of your videos and I downloaded it.
I saw that. What did you think?
Well, I
Is it
tried.
easy to follow?
I couldn't open it on my phone, so I think I have to open it on the computer.
You do.
Yeah, so that's why. So I didn't get to watch it yet, but I really wanted to before this. But that's why I took a CEU class instead, because I couldn't open the video last night.
Yeah.
Bought it.
So the Teachers Pay Teachers site that I saw on that live streams the video if you buy it on there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you buy it on my main website, that's the downloadable thing that you can put on your external hard drive and like have on your computer to refer to if you don't have Wi-Fi. So it's kind of depending on your situation what you would want to do. Well, thank you.
Yeah, well, I will definitely, I'm sure it's very easy to follow, but I'll let you know as soon as I watch it.
Please let me know. I will be looking for it.
I know, because I sell lots of things online, and I feel like I do.
I love your coloring books.
Thank you. I appreciate that. See, I mean, like, even that, I'm just waiting for someone to message me being like, this is crap. Why do you sell this?
They're beautiful, and they're so versatile, and I watch you use them before you even started like selling them, or I even knew you did. I was like, this is such a good idea. Listen to her talk. How articulate she is, you know, like that's what I'm thinking as I'm stalking you.
And that is because this is something I always try to tell people, like, I don't care what sound the kid has wrong on the Goldman Bristow. I'm always working on B, M, P, and T. Those are my favorite sounds to work on in addition to any of their problematic sounds, because when you have good solid sounds there, everything else gets clearer too.
Yeah.
And I feel like all of my kids that are unintelligible, it's because they're so unsure of what they're saying exactly. They just try to rush through it because they don't really know what those sounds are. They just are like, oh, this is what this word that I'm trying to say usually sounds like to me.
So I'm just going to try it.
Yeah.
You slow it down. Always. I'm always listening to you, how slow you are. It's good.
Thanks. I try to. Good. Thanks. But so that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I get likes on Instagram and people are like, oh, like, I like your videos, but I'm like, why? Well, what is it? Can I do better? Like, but it's just likes and everyone just says like nice things to me and I'm waiting for someone to just be like, you're a hack, but not yet. It didn't happen. Okay. So I want to hear some of your personal stories from your private practice learning. Do you have any?
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, whatever you want to know. Billing.
Yeah.
Is a nightmare.
I mean, it's a nightmare from this aspect too. So it's just like,
I mean, you're just going to have to deal with it.
No matter what.
Research all you can. And, you know, I was choosy with who I decided to contract with as far as insurance. But I knew from doing my externship, doing my clinical fellowship, what insurance companies were trouble for voice therapy. So I had that knowledge going into it. And it's a constant job when you work for yourself. You're constant. I mean, I'm working 24/7. I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm like, I have an idea for a product, you know, and I'm writing this down. It's like music. You write songs. You're like, oh, you hear that lick in your head, and you know, you got to get up and get it out before you forget it. So constantly working, but at the same time, I don't really feel like it's a job because I really enjoy what I do. I don't think I would have been pushed to incorporate myself and run my own business had I not met my husband, who runs like 3 businesses himself and just really is very self-made and just an awesome person and human. And so he has really helped me build this. And
it's so great he already had that like knowledge and background too.
It is. And I think that as SLPs, we don't have a business class in our curriculum. I never took anything like that to know about finance or how to run a profits and losses spreadsheet or to look at net income, gross income. I didn't know what any of that meant.
Right,
so
I'm struggling with taxes. Like,
you need the cheese. My accountants.
I'm going to write all this up. No, but like whenever because, you know, being an SLP, you end up with all these different jobs and you think by now, because like from 15 I've worked. So you think by now every time I saw a W-2 I could handle it, but I can't. Yeah. I'm like zeros, ones, I don't know. What do you mean add up? Like it's so even that most basic type paperwork is a struggle for me. That's my biggest SLP struggle. The paperwork.
I get that a lot. I run this Many Hats SLP Facebook group, and that's a lot of the messages I get is that paperwork is a huge struggle. because we can't really see the patients if there's so much paperwork. So I will say that now that I've hired 2 front desk people, I can focus more on therapy.
Right.
I was really back behind until I was able to, but you have to get the patients before you can have the front, the ancillary.
That's my dream, to get to that point where I can just like do therapy and then throw papers behind me and people just catch them and file.
When you get there, will you let me know?
Yeah, we could do it together.
Oh, yay. I will catch your papers. It's also not overnight, that, caveating to that, I incorporated in 2012 when I knew that this is what I wanted to do. And I worked, it's funny, I worked that LTAC job, and then I actually applied for a school job where I went to school for high school. And I was like, this will work. I want to be a parent, I can have summers off. But I didn't get the job.
Oh.
So, and then some things.
Well, that was fate,
like,
probably.
It was, and it was just so funny. But I will say that private practice tips, it's really rewarding to spend an adequate amount of time with a patient. So for me, that's 45 to 60 minutes a session. So much. I contracted with an ENT office for a little while, and so watching them work, they're only spending about 10 to 15 minutes with a patient.
Right.
There's no way I can get a therapy session done in that time. But I think the thing is too, if you have that time with the patient, you can better let them understand their mechanism, so you can complement the doctor's session or what the doctor didn't get to, as far as asking the patient questions and having the more humanistic side of care. So you spend the time, and I like that. I hate productivity.
Oh, I hate productivity. Yeah.
Kill me. Like,
yeah, that's hard. Well, that's like, it's not hard for me in the nursing home, whereas like you would think it had, because productivity is the most important part of like your SNF job. But my productivity is really good because like it's not I'm only there a bit, so I'm only there to work, and I want to go home. I'm tired, so I'm never lingering. Like, so if I walk in the door, I'm going to see patient, then coming down, doing my paperwork, which is pretty quick there, and I'm going home. So my productivity at the nursing home was always pretty good. But really like, if I was in charge of that place, then it would be a completely different story. Because like, I don't know how. The woman who's in charge of the nursing home, I don't know how she does it. Like, I only do the extra that she can't keep up with.
Yeah.
But I think she can't keep up with more, but she's just so like wonderful and does it all. Like, I'm like, you should give me more because you're making me nervous. How much work you do constantly. I don't know how, like, she's just everything from knowing all the insurance stuff to everybody's background to everybody's diet to when everybody needs to be reassessed.
She just knows.
Then I don't, and it's like every resident, you have to know about everybody, even if they're
How long has she been doing it? Do you know?
Well, I don't know. No, I don't know. A long time.
A long time.
Yeah. I think she said 8 years in that facility, but
okay.
He had prior.
Longer than that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's the thing too. If anybody listens to your podcast that's still a student, like, it gets easier the more you do it. But it took me like a year to stop sweating profusely when I was doing instrumental exams. Like, the patient's gagging, you're in a heavy lab coat, you've got the thing in their mouth or their nose, and you're like, okay, and you're doing your thing and just sweating. Like,
so how did you get certified in that? I want to get.
So I had a mentor. So at TCU, Chris Watts is the clinic director and was my voice mentor in grad school. And so he taught me to scope. And then the ENT clinic that I contracted with, we did the flex scope. So I passed with them and took courses. So there's a ton of different ones. I went to the FEES stroke course in Emory in Atlanta. Vanderbilt's got a good course. USC has a good course, and there's more popping up. I just say those 3 not because they're the best by any means, but I mean, they are good. But they're not the only ones. If you can learn from somebody who does it on a daily basis. That's the thing. Like there's not a real certification. There's suggested things to do. I bought a book.
Do you have your own scope?
Video. Oh yeah, I've got 2.
Oh.
So I've got a rigid and a flex, and then I have the set that I use for my mobile exams.
Oh wow.
Too.
Goals. I mean, if anything that I learned this year is that I want to do more things.
I mean, you got to set goals, because if not, I don't know. If you're happy though, but I mean, for me, like I'm always happy to grow and to help other people grow. So that makes me happy.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I like just to keep. I couldn't remain in one place stagnant. I want to keep going to higher levels or like not even higher levels, but like different places with this career.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, if you can tell us a little bit about some therapy strategies that you use and the type of patient who might benefit from them. So maybe like the signs or symptoms that they present with, and then what technique you would use with them.
Yeah. So if I have a patient who sounds strained, so if they come to me and they're talking like this, and like you can sense it's not really roughness, it's more of a push to get this sound to come out. I am probably going to do really all 3. Flow phonation, I'd have them yawn. I'd have them hum, trying to buzz their nose and their cheekbones.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd have them take a straw and make noise through the straw.
I brought a straw because I want.
Yay!
Okay.
Oh, look at you. We have a trip too.
Yeah, I am.
Yay! But and then you see what they sound better doing. Either 3 of those, and then.
Well, what do you make them do in the straw?
Just straw noise. So they're going. But it's not. But nothing comes out your nose. So plug your nose.
Okay.
And then blow out the straw, and make noise with your vocal cords too. There you go. Yep. And then the other option is you take your Chardonnay.
Yeah.
And you put your straw.
Yes.
And then, okay, and there's another added level of resistance. So you're making bubbles.
Oh, I love bubbles.
And then you turn on your voice, so you vibrate your vocal cords. And there you go. And that's a good trick. That's perfect.
Oh, thank you.
That's a good trick to.
Everyone's going to do this in speech tomorrow.
Wonderful.
Everyone. Is that okay? Everyone.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's not going to hurt. I don't know. It shouldn't, because it's a protective. You're adding back pressure to the level of your vocal cords. So
we're all doing it.
It's fabulous because with the bubbles you get feedback, visual, so that you're not. It's not coming out your nose, because if it's coming out your nose, it's a hum. So why do you have a straw in your mouth?
Right.
There's a on that. But so if I have a patient who is with paralysis, so maybe they.
So wait, hold on. I want to stop you for a second.
Yeah.
Anybody listening to this podcast right now, if you have social media, if you have Instagram and you work with patients, let's all do having your clients do the bubbles in their drink that Kristie recommended. And then you're going to tag SLP's Wine and Cheese and Kristie. And if you don't have a speech Instagram, you could still send us the videos. And
send it to their emails or to
or even DM it to Kristie or DM it to us, and we'll repost it. Because I know some people don't have speech Instagram, so they don't want to speech stuff.
Yeah, and I'll block out your name if you want me. I do that all the time. I share reviews on things, and I never know. Unless I ask them point blank, I'm like, can I share this review that you've left? And sometimes they're like, yeah.
Yeah, most people say yes. I want to break the internet with Kristie's bubble technique, so let's try to get that done.
I love it. No, you have to credit Ingo Tietze though. Voice science, Ingo Tietze, he's done all that research. So
I thought you invented this.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, never would I do that. But I definitely use it, and I'm a huge proponent of it because it's such a wonderful warm up.
So I cut you off. Sorry.
That's okay. So if you have a patient who has paralysis, so maybe they have roughness, they're kind of sounding where they're diplophonic like that. At that point, I would try more of just either resonant voice humming or the straw phonation or lip trills, the semi-occluded vocal tract.
So lip trill is like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's a semi-occluded vocal tract exercise.
Okay.
Doing also this, it's hard to describe it because everyone will be listening to this, but you're basically closing your lips, you puff air into your cheeks. Yep. Kind of like we test
I'll
strength
take
here.
a picture of myself.
Obiculars or strength, okay? Okay, then you let a little space out of your mouth, and then you blow air, and then you make noise with your vocal cords. So
all right, I'm going to take a video of myself while I'm doing this. So you want me to fill up my cheeks with air?
Cheeks up. And then let a little bit of stream of air out your lips and start blowing it. Keep your cheeks puffed, and then make noise. See, it's hard. It's so hard. This is why I don't do like teletherapy. People are always like, I'm in Hong Kong. Can you treat me? I'm like, I can't touch you. I can't hear you very well. I just can't do voice therapy on teletherapy. Try it again. Go.
Okay.
Hey, you got it. That's it. Yeah.
I just realized my headphones are on, so these videos I'm taking just don't have your voice. That one's
okay.
But that's fine. I'll post
perfect.
it.
So that's another semi-occluded vocal tract exercise you can do.
Semi-occluded. So you love semi-occluded. Why do you love semi-occluded?
Because the science behind it is that it creates something called inertive reactance.
Okay.
And that basically translates to back pressure. That goes back to the glottic level. We remember from school, the level of the vocal cords, and it allows them to phonate or to vibrate without excess tension.
Oh, so it's like an inversion for your vocal folds. You're giving your heart and lungs a break because
I was just listening to your yoga one. Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense to me. Yes. Yeah. So it's like giving your larynx a break.
It really is.
And remember we were like, give your heart a break. We started
singing that. Singing it. I remember.
Yeah.
So, I love to be included for that reason. And what's so confusing is that resonant voice therapy, so hums, they're
yoga.
They're semi-occluded also.
Semi-occluded, okay. Humming is too, yes.
Humming is too. It just doesn't have as much semi-occlusion as phonating through a straw or lip trills, tongue trills. And then stretch and flow, or flow phonation, confidential flow, whatever you want to call it, where you're reprogramming phonation with air first. And so these are for my patients who are really strained, or for my patients with vocal nodules. So it's hard to replicate what someone with vocal nodules sounds like. If they don't push, sometimes they can't make sound. And so they do sound breathy during therapy until they've had time for those nodules to recede. But that's basically, you have them mouth and with air only, single word. So single ooh, so they're just blowing. I usually have a tissue. Where are my tissues? This napkin will work. But they're blowing it, and then you're making them do single words. So from you're having them go. And they have the visual feedback of using that airflow. Then you're having them 2, 3. You're having them add like 20% sound, 80% air. But it kind of it reprograms. It messes with the system where they're making speech, like they're articulating, but it's just airflow. And then you're putting the sound back in at an easier laryngeal effort. So
nice. That's so exciting. Okay, so it's like you're starting off small and then you're easing your way into full phonation. That's what you're doing the first 2 steps. Like you're
and then you're doing hierarchy like you do anything else, where it's single sound, single word, short phrase, sentence, paragraph, conversation.
And this lets the vocal folds come together more gently.
That's right.
Because we're getting that pathology because the harshness is what caused it. So
the collision forces are great. And then the body's reacting and forming nodules because of the overuse. So
Right, like a
that's a good
callus
one I
on
like.
your hands when you play guitar.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Hey, girl.
I like
You got
examples.
it.
I play guitar a little bit, but I'm no good. You can play every instrument.
I've heard you play. You play fine. You play great.
I play regular. Like
You
I
play I Want It That Way. Speaking of
yeah.
Backstreet Boys.
Yeah. Well, isn't that funny? Like I sent it to my best friend and she wasn't like, great job. She was like, why is this not just I promise you? Like she didn't.
I think it's great. No, I think you play well. That's been a long time ago.
I play like, yeah, my uncles play guitar and my dad bought me a guitar and my sister got one. We got one the same Christmas when I was 15. So it took me until I was like maybe 28 to like nail the guitar so that I could like master it. But I did write one funny song, I think. So maybe in some sort of premium episode, I'll try to play you the song. We'll see.
I will.
We'll try to see if we can arrange that to happen.
Love it so much. So much.
How many instruments do you play? I wanted to ask you that.
Oh man. Proficiently? No. I play piano.
Okay.
I play piano, I play guitar, I play accordion.
I saw that my choir teacher in Catholic school played accordion, and that is a rockin' instrument.
It's so hard.
It is so hard
to figure
but like
out.
Also you could play such a range of music.
And it's the intensity too. So like you're able to dynamically change based on how hard you're pulling the thing apart to be how it's more like the human voice than any other instrument. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I always think of Miss Sandy at St. Sylvester School where I went, and like people think that I'm like not even a very religious person, but I guess I do always sing semi-religious songs with my students.
Yeah.
Because one, they're not inappropriate, so I don't have to worry about anything being like untasteful or like vulgar. But two, like these are the songs that I learned as a child that taught me how to pay attention to sounds and rhythm and organization of words and music. And like I remember finding joy in my day because I went to choir that day, and it taught me how to read without anxiety because you had your sheet music and then you read the words, and it was easier. I remember also like learning a song was not that hard. So even when I teach the kids a song, I'm like, I'm just going to sing one line and I bet they'll figure out the second line.
And then they do.
They do. And then I can get them to say, because like so many of my students, even though I'm in gen ed, a lot of them, like they really do exhibit issues in syntax and morphology, but those are syllable counts in songs. So if I teach them a song or a poem, I'm making them pay attention to each individual sound and word, because if they don't, they get lost and they're not on the same rhythm and tempo as us.
I think music complements speech pathology so well, and I think you do a really good job of working it in what you do.
And I love to work on vowel changes because it, like so many of the kids that are unclear, it's because they're neutralizing all of their vowels. So that's why I'm always like A, E, O, U, Ma, Me, Me, Mo, Mu, because that's not only a phonemic awareness task, but it's also providing like sound discrimination between these different vowels and showing like there is meaning there. Yeah. So I love singing. I think it's just fun.
It is fun. It's soothing. I say I read something. When you scroll through Facebook, like, are you really reading it if you're just reading the title? There's something I need to read about how doctors somewhere are prescribing music and art and painting instead of drugs. I need to read it.
I totally would be an advocate for that. And I agree because so I find myself, I'm constantly singing and drawing, and I feel like very many people do describe me as like relaxed and patient. Yeah. And my boyfriend's constantly thinking and writing, and many people might describe him as like agitated and impatient. So I always want to be like, you need to just like sing or paint or something, like just fixate on this thing and stop asking questions. Like I was singing Baby It's Cold Outside, and you know how so many people are like, this song's anti-feminist because she's saying she wants to go home and this guy's coercing her.
Yes.
So
I have my own lyrics to that.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
No, not on this.
So So Mike, I'm like singing the song and cleaning the kitchen, and he's like, but don't you think like they really both did want to hang out that night? And I'm like, I'm not here to answer your questions. I'm singing the song. Like, how about you stop thinking and just sing?
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, do you ever feel like you described your significant other as like a great human? And I love my boyfriend. I really do, but like he makes me crazy.
You know, I mean, Lucas, he makes me a little crazy sometimes, but like, I think the crazy thing is like we're both type A, and it's really hard because when you both are struggling to be right, which I mean, I don't know if most couples are like that, but I'm right. He's like, I'm right. And usually he's right. Don't tell him.
Really?
I know, I do tell him though, but he's like, hey, remember that time when I was right? And I'm like, yeah, every time. But it's so hard for me to admit that that my idea wasn't the best idea. So, you know, that's the hard thing for us sometimes. But his brain works differently than mine, and I'm naturally good at things like singing and music and things, but he sees like steps ahead that I don't see, and that just I'm like, I want to be that smart where
so
my
he's
brain,
like strategic and you're just living in the moment, because
and he figured me out.
The present.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how to change my brain though. He knows me.
I think
he can figure me out.
You should chill here. I like the present. Like,
I want to come to New York. I've been twice.
Oh, come hang. Yeah, I meant more
singing.
like come metaphorically, like be here. But yeah, come to New York. Absolutely. You can come stay at my apartment. We'll hang out.
Yay.
We'll go out in the city. Absolutely. I would love to go to Texas. I've been there once. But
where did you go?
I was there for like a day.
It
was before ASHA last year. We stopped in Texas because Mike had a show at a Texas university, one of the schools. I don't remember which one it was. So I was there for one day.
Yeah.
It's by Dallas, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's near me.
Oh, it is? Oh.
I'm in Fort Worth, so I'm like 30 minutes west. It's a different town though. I don't know. I'm much more like Western than Dallas is real. It's different. I like Fort Worth. I'll just say that.
Okay. So, well, I have no idea how much time we've been doing right here. So
I don't know.
Something that you had a great idea. So you like to do limericks on Instagram. Yeah. What's that about?
Okay, so I love poetry. Like we talk about rhythm. I feel like you and I see that same way. But rhythm and things, I used to like making poems. I wrote poems all the time. That's what got me into songwriting and creating and writing songs.
Me too.
From the poems. So I don't know. I wanted something different, and I wanted something that people could do easily. But I really wanted my limericks to be educational, and I need to do more. That's on my goals for 2019 to do more. But I thought maybe we could have a limerick battle. Dad,
okay. Yeah, I haven't been worried about this at all. It's so funny. I did an episode on our Patreon, and we did this segment called How Emo is Deb, because we found my creative writing notebook from 11th grade.
Oh, yes.
I only did bad on one type of poem, and it was a limerick.
Oh, no.
So
you've been so worried about this.
A bit. I mean, I'm fine. Everything's good. Nothing's wrong.
That's so funny. So you're gonna go?
Well, we can, but I was just, brainstorming ideas, and I like to know the literal definitions of things, and a battle is it entails bragging, insults, and boasting.
Boo. We don't want that.
We don't want that. Well, I have a boasty. I know we were supposed to do this off the cuff, but I could not. I have a boasty. And then I have just a standard. So
mine's about speech therapy. Mine's about vocal fry.
All right, you go first. Yeah, you're.
Yours will be funnier though. I don't know.
I'll go first because we'll just start off with like.
I'll do mine. I'll let you because yours will be funny. Do the boasty one then. Okay.
I'll do both. I gotta do the boasty one.
Okay, but it has sound effects, so.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Okay, here it goes. It goes. If you've wondered about vocal fry, where the voice can sound creaky and dry. Vocal folds, they make sound with no airflow around, and it sure makes your SLP cry.
I love that.
Yay!
You know that vocal fry is like an insult in like the political and comedy community.
No, tell me.
So like so often like a woman, I find it very, you know how people say, I keep going on tangents, but this is my example, that only women are called bossy, right? Have you ever heard that? Only women are called bossy, and if it's a man, it's called assertive or whatever.
It's assertive. Yeah, I would have said assertive.
Okay, so similar to that, every time you watch anything that's like about a woman saying anything like in terms of politics or comedy or like really comedy politics, you know, like late night type stuff, like that sector of comedy, if there's ever a woman making a point, you always find the insults being like, well, she like spoke with a vocal fry because like that's the way she speaks. So, like, so that's like an insult.
Yeah.
Making you sound dumb.
You know what's funny? There was a study, it was years ago because they've come up with other ones lately, but about perception. And they used to, the first study, or the one I remember specifically, women who spoke with vocal fry were seen as upwardly mobile and educated. It was something really strange. Like, because they were saying that it was the new Valley Girl. Like,
but that's the way people describe it.
And so I think now it's morphed into more of this, you're a millennial, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't care, you're apathetic. It's very interesting.
Yeah,
how voice can change our perception of a person's intelligence.
Yeah, so voice is all those paralinguistic features of language.
You got it.
Yeah, I don't know how to speak. I had some wine. Okay, so I'm gonna do. Okay, so here's my standard just speech pathology. Oh wait, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna read. I should find Maria's first. So I should throw her under the bus limerick.
My hope for this was that like people would like catch on and like do it, like, and
I wanted to. Like, as soon as I saw that you did that, I wanted to do that, and then I had to. It was too hard. I tried. It's too hard to come up with anything.
Emo is dead.
Send me your limerick. Yeah, I know, because I only know that one famous limerick.
Which
about
one?
That guy from Nantucket.
Oh. I don't think I know that one.
Oh my goodness!
Is it vulgar?
It's very vulgar.
Oh, then we can't say it on here.
Okay, so
I'll look it up.
Yeah, just look up. There once was a man from Nantucket. Okay, so I did. Speech pathology is my domain, but not everything has to be a game. Loudly and proudly we speak in our own way that is unique. Progress doesn't mean being the same.
I love that.
Thanks. Yeah, I wrote that one. And then this was my bragging, insult, boasting one, where I'd be like, I'm not sure your ideology, but I'm the queen of speech pathology. I don't waste time playing games. My therapy is never lame. And if you disagree, you need psychology.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I just watched like an 8 Mile clip, and then
that is so sassy. I love it. I think that's so funny. I don't know why you failed limerick. I don't know.
I can't find my book, otherwise I'd read it to you. I have my kindergarten composition book here. Maria and I also had a Patreon episode about letting things go, because evidently I might have some.
Gosh. Deb, that is such a bad limerick. I'm reading the Nantucket right now.
Okay, well, that was my only frame of reference when I was in high school. Yeah, that's a bad limerick, I told you.
Terrible. No one should go and look at this. No one.
You're living under a rock if you're the only one who doesn't.
I must be. That just makes me. That is so bad.
Yeah. So you don't know that's like the majority of society's association with limericks.
And now I've screwed myself because now everybody's gonna. Where does limerick? They look it up and then this
like sonnet or cinquain, ballad, haiku.
No, it had to be limerick. No, I know why. Because, okay, there's a book, read to my kids. It's this three ninja pigs. And it's the story of the three little pigs, but it's all written in limerick. And I read it over and over and over about that. And so it's been getting in my head probably in the last 6 months. That's why.
So I rationalized why you chose limerick because it does have a high syllable count, whereas the majority of it's like 686 or like 7 and 8 are like the highest syllable count for the majority of like poetic structure. So
Yeah.
I figured you liked limericks because it calls for like up to 10 syllables for one sentence, so you have more opportunity to explain
what's going on.
Yeah, and you have longer words too.
You know, it's funny you say that because most of my songwriting songs, they're very lyric heavy.
Oh, they are? But are they
They're very 8 Mile. No, they're really not 8 Mile. The they're like, you remember that Jason Mraz song? Oh, I can't remember now even how that goes. But how he it's just one word's rolling off the other, and I got so many songs.
So you sing fast like the Animaniacs State song?
Like the Animaniacs. Yes.
Do you know that song?
I do. I don't know it. Like I know of it.
I want to meet somebody who could sing me that song.
I've met somebody who can sing me that song. And he knows it backwards and forwards. So
yeah, I love that.
That's how I know it. That's funny. You should watch that show. That dates us, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I was talking to my boyfriend about it, and he was like, there's two groups of people, like people who are into Animaniacs and people who aren't. And I'm like, are you saying you're not into Animaniacs?
Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. And then they had the whole potty emergency episode. God, I mean, we would reference that, my sister and I growing up, just all the time. Where's the bathroom? I don't know. You're going to have a potty emergency. And then we just die laughing. Just ridiculous.
I love that. I don't remember that episode, but that's so funny. Like because I always watch stuff with my sister too. So, and we have like a quote that we always said to each other with the word emergency in it. So you reminded me, but it's Dracula Dead and Loving It. Did you ever see that?
No.
And they'd be like, hurry, doctor, it's an emergency. And he's like, an emergency? And they're like, yes, doctor, an emergency. And we used to say that back and forth. Anyway, so we're coming to the end of our episode here. And we like to end with some tips and tricks. So you gave us so many therapy techniques to utilize in therapy, but do you have any other like additional tips and tricks? And these are things that are just zero prep, just total personality, total choices, independent, outside of any type of like need to purchase or create. Just
So when you're doing stretch and flow with your Kleenex, which toilet paper works too. I just used a napkin. You want to, if you have the tissue, you want to tear it about in a 1-inch strip, and you want to tear it down like parallel to the fold in the Kleenex or the tissue.
Oh, okay.
If you pull tissue out of the container or the box, it folds in half. You want to tear along that, because if you tear the other direction, it doesn't tear very well. So that's a tip.
Oh, great. The way to tear it is a great tip.
For resonant voice therapy, well, this really goes with everything, but you really have to be able to have the patient hear themselves or feel the vibration, or resonant voice therapy is not going to work for them. And it's okay if it doesn't work, because you have other options to try, because they need to be able to have something to help them replicate it at home. And then this took a while for me to learn, but differentiating between different types of effort. So when I'm teaching a new skill, I always ask the patient, is this hard? Like, because it should feel different to them, using voice in a different way, but I always want to know hard. And so I started realizing that they didn't really know what I was asking. It would change. And so, is it physically hard, or is it mentally hard? And so remember to differentiate when you're asking them about difficulty, to get feedback for yourself and how your therapy is being presented to them. Is it
difficult to manage, or is it complicated to understand?
Yeah. And so if we don't want laryngeal effort, we don't want there to be effort in the throat, but mental effort.
Just like you don't want neck strain when you're doing a crunch.
You're exactly right.
Right. Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
But it may be hard to coordinate.
Right. Which is okay.
To learn those new moves if you've never done a crunch before.
Right. But so practicing that will make you better, but you don't want to practice it in the wrong way because that can cause injury.
And or muscle memory, doing it that, learning it the wrong way, and then you can't unlearn.
I feel like that's how I got screwed a little bit with my handstand, because I think maybe I became too dependent on the wall behind me, so I could stay up long with that wall.
Okay, here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that my CrossFit gym, that's how they teach people, but I did gymnastics growing up, and what you would do is have the coach hold your feet. So have Mike hold your feet.
Okay.
And then like let go and kind of have you like kick.
Okay.
But have that be, because you're going to become dependent on leaning your whole weight against the wall to do that. But if you have somebody whose arm is unstable in the air above you when you're inverted,
right.
And then you can do like he can hold one of your legs and then eventually kind of hold and then let go and hold and let go while you're
changing my whole life in this episode. Okay. That's what we're going to start doing as soon as he gets home.
Tips and tricks for that.
Wonderful. And my tip is to just take a break. I mean, like, I'm doing slime week in speech therapy.
You are.
And it is very speech heavy, and I am learning a lot about each of my kids more than what I bargained for. And we are still targeting speech therapy goals, but I am going through it with a mindset of like, we're on vacation from speech. Like we're not putting so much pressure, and this is more so fun.
Yeah.
While maintaining the educational aspect. Does it seem like I'm maintaining the educational aspect of it?
I think you are, from listening to what you're doing.
Okay, good. I'm trying.
But I know it's different, because if you drill and drill and drill and drill, it gets old.
Yeah, and everyone needs a break, and I feel like we learn best when we revisit. So we're just like, we're taking a break, we're doing something fun, we're still talking about procedures, we're still talking about listening. And a lot of my kids, like, they have goals. We have to work on like decreasing that latency in response. We're taking too long to answer when it's not our turn. So like we're taking the pressure off, and it's like, what are we making? What do we need? What did you choose?
Yeah.
Answer. It's your turn. So we're just trying to like, just take all the like pressure out and just do something fun, but also make it educational. So my tip and trick is to just take a break.
Take a break. I like that. I think that's applicable to all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Patients and clinicians alike.
Sorry, I kicked you off.
I'm sorry. Patients and clinicians alike.
Yeah. We all need to take a break. So then we also like to end in a quote, and I think you came up with a quote for us, right?
Yeah, I did. Speaking of poetry, this is a quote from Rumi. There is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. And I chose that quote because I saw a patient who had recently been diagnosed with squamous cell carcinoma, which is cancer. And I saw the patient after I knew, and then she came in and said, did you talk to the doctor about my biopsy results? And I said I did. And then we talked about some other things, and then I came back around and I said, how do you has anybody asked you how you feel about knowing you have cancer now? And then she just was like waterworks, just very, and she's like, no one's asked me yet. And I was just like, wow, you forget that people are human. And I think I posted about this earlier in the week on my Insta story, but just, we learn about the patients, the diagnoses in our books when we're in school. I think even as a CF, I really saw patients as what was on their diagnosis sheet. And it was easy to do that because you walk into the hospital room.
And it's a fear thing too, because you're afraid. So it's like you go in there, like you don't want to screw up. So you go in there as knowledgeable as you can, looking at all the facts on the paper that like you get fixated on that. My dogs are going insane. Someone must be at my door. I don't know what the heck that is. But whoever it is, I mean, they can walk in, the door is open. So I don't know why they're doing that. But so that I feel like the advice I give to all of my CFs and anybody that I'm talking to or mentoring is like, just imagine like that's your kid, or that's your uncle, or that's your mom, or that's your grandfather. How would you want someone to treat them? And just walk in there and be kind and listen, and then take it from there. Just be available and be present and be competent and confident too. Like, have faith in yourself that you can figure it out. And you went to school for a long time, and it was not cheap, so you must have learned something, hopefully. But have faith in yourself and just understand that that's just a human in front of you.
And then, you may not know everything too. They don't expect you to know everything. I'd be afraid if somebody said they knew everything. I'd be like, you're lying to me. You don't know everything about everything. So
exactly. Another quote that I like is a man who's proud of his knowledge is like a man who's proud of his large prison cell. So I justify that when I don't know things. I'm like, well, I mean, I must continue to learn. Otherwise, I'd be like boxed in.
You're trapping yourself. Absolutely. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Let's make that really, really pretty and put it somewhere like on a painting.
Oh, yeah. Sure. That would be good. All right. Well, thanks so much for doing this episode. This has been SLP's Wine and Cheese. I'm Deb. And who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Kristie.
And Maria's not here. She's sick. But thanks for listening. Adios.
Bye.
And then I say bye usually in a different language. And then I'll cut it off there.
Okay.
Thanks for doing this.
You're welcome. This is so fun.
Yeah. So I hope now I have to, so this is meeting 2, get back here. Where was that? 2, 3, 4. Do you see the number? 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 4, 7. Because I can never find these files after 7. Okay, so now
7627.
Okay.
The last one.
All right, so I'm gonna get to work on this, and then I'm gonna post it and go to bed. So it's gonna be like up now-ish. Well, like
that's great.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I learned so much, so thank you so much.
This was so fun. This was like the most easy breezy. I've done podcasts before, and I've always been like super nervous, and this was not. This was really good. So
wonderful. So then when I ask you to do it again, you'll say yes.
Very much. Oh yeah, sure.
Okay,
absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yay. Okay.
Thanks. Okay, bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.